Hello everybody, Spano Richard with my last video of 2023. It's going to be my 10 best used vinyl finds of the year. Now, I didn't buy as many records this past year, so it's not some crazy obscure stuff like you would find on Psychedelic's 10 best or Noble Records, but I probably bought, Noble Records probably buys more records than I did all year in one day, you know, so. Anyways, let's get going. Originally I had this one. I wasn't gonna show this first one. I realized, I think this first one is a better album than that. And I was kind of reluctant to show this one because it's a pretty recent reissue. But I did buy it used, so it's included because I think it's a much better album than that Johnny Thunders. This is Smashing Pumpkins' Gish, their debut album. I think this and Siamese Dreams are their two best albums. And then that Insecticide one with the B-sides and stuff. I would like to get this foil cover one of Siamese Dreams. But anyways, great album. I think Smashing Pumpkins are one of the best bands from the 90s, actually. I have their stuff, but it's all on CD. So, yeah, I saw this. It wasn't too bad. I got it, man. I really dig this album. And these, I'm showing these pretty much in the order that I picked them up. That one I definitely got in January, and I'm going to go through the year. The second one I'm showing here is Sonic Youth, Sister. This is the uncensored version with the Disney characters. I think it was maybe this picture here, censored. Anyways, this is like their fourth album, if I remember right. It's kind of a transitional album. I kind of like the early stuff, their debut, and then Sex is Confusion. Those, I think, may be my favorite. This one has some of that experimental, noisy stuff, but it does have some more song structures in some of it. Some of it gets kind of samey to me, though, I'll be quite honest. And the records that came out after, like, I'm not as big a fan of. But anyways, it's a really good find. Sonic Youth. Now this one here is I love this album, man. And this one I play quite a bit. It's James Brown Hell. This is the album that came out after Payback. It's a double album, just like Payback is. But I think this is a much better album. I think it's side 3 has some wanker songs, but side 2, I think, has some wanker songs. Yeah. Side 1, side 3, and side 4 are pretty much all killer. They do some, he does some of his older songs, redoes them. Like, Please, Please, Please. He does like a Spanish-tinged version of that, which is very cool. This next one, Hell Comes to Your House, Part 2. Now, I bought Part 1 the week it came out, I believe. This one I remember seeing, but I wasn't really a big fan of any of these bands. But I saw it recently, 6 months, 8 months ago, I don't remember. I picked it up and I was really surprised. This is just as good as the first one, you know. It plays really good. It does have some of those cow-punk bands like Blood on the Saddle, Tex and the Horsehead, Screaming Sirens, Lotus Lame and the Lame Flames. You know, those were more of the cow-punk stuff. But it has the Joneses, the Mau Mau's, the Minutemen. I was aware of those bands. But yeah. And then the other band, Cambridge Apostles, I wasn't really aware of them, but it's a pretty good album all the way through. Now this one that I'm going to show Maybe my best pickup of the year. It's SRC Psych heavy guitar rock album on Capitol Records. It's a fantastic band, fantastic album out of Detroit, I'm quite certain. It starts off with Black Sheep, and it starts off with this Hammond organ. And then these guitars come in. The guitars are the strong point of this album, I think. Good vocals. There's some good interplay with the Hammond organ and guitars. But man, the guitar player, Gary Quackenbush, yeah. Very strong, man. Really good. 60s. Psych. Tinges. Now this one here, it's the Birthday Club Junkyard, yeah. I thought this was their debut, but it turns out I think it's their third album. I'm not really this is my only Nick Cave album that I own. I saw Nick Cave once in concert. He was opening for somebody. He was okay. I don't know. It just wasn't, his vocals didn't, I don't know. I didn't dig it. The vocals on this are great, but man, it's the two guitars. It's just noisy, chaotic. And this might be my favorite of all of these, man. It's a mess, dark mess. It's fantastic. I need to explore Nick Cave some more. Now this one here, 67, 68 album. It's a instrumental. It's a Sensación en Ritmo, Los Babies. It's a band from Mexico. This is all instrumental, kind of. Some of it's surfy, some of it's kind of got that, you know, that, I don't know, Ventures kind of instrumental feel to it. It's a pretty cool album. I had to get it on Eco Records. I don't have anything on Eco Records, that's for sure. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Now, I have heard other songs where they sing, but there is no singing on this, if I remember right. But yeah, very cool, man, you know. It's not something you come across. I mean, here in California, maybe, but other parts of the world, you're never going to come across a record like that, you know. Now, this one is a heavy hitter. U-Roy Dread in Babylon. Just a fantastic reggae album. This flows all the whole album from start to end is just fantastic. I just love the back where he's taking a hit and he gets engulfed in the smoke. It's funny. But yeah, this is a great reggae album. I can put this on and my wife won't say anything. So that's a good sign, you know. Usually they go, you know, wow, what's that? You know, that sounds weird, you know. But yeah, really good album, man. And the first person I ever saw show this album, I wasn't really aware of this album, you know, is on the Metal Theologians channel. He did a video years ago about albums with funny covers. Now, this one here, The Feminine Complex. I remember someone showing this years ago, and it's Live in Love. You got, you know, this Bobby Gentry kind of looking cover. But then you look at the back and, you know, oh, wow, this is going to be like Girls from the Garage, you know? And it isn't either of those. The first song, Hide and Seek, you put that on, you go, oh man, this is going to be a garage rock gem from the 60s. And it doesn't deliver on that. In fact, the next four songs, or the rest of side one, it's almost like a 60s AM, kind of, one song sounds like Lulu, you know, singing Sir with Love. And it's kind of like that kind of a feel. And she's got a very sultry voice. The vocals on this are fantastic. Now, side two delivers. It's a little more rockin'. In fact, it's a lot more rockin'. There's only one kind of AM 60s pop song on it. The rest are more rockin', some garage, some just straight up, you know, rock. Run Through Your Mind, It's Magic. Time Slips By, the last song, is kind of a weird way to end the album. But yeah, it's a great find. 60s album that isn't very common. And it made my top 10. And my final, I found this not that long ago. And it's the first punk rock album ever. It's the Rolling Stones. Got Live If You Want. And what's great about this is it's in mono. I had the stereo version. I didn't even realize what I was missing till recently. Bip Bop Boom did a video on it. I go, man, I got to check that out. And there's the difference between the mono of this and the stereo is the biggest difference I've ever heard on from a stereo to mono mix. This is way better than the stereo. And that's my last great find of the year. So everybody have a happy new year. I will see you next week after the New Year festivities. And hopefully your 2024 is better than 2023 was. Take care, everybody.